experiences I've ever had going to the movies.
Now, I know some people found this movie fun, but me, I'd rather spend 2 hours having root canal work done.
It's a terrible film from beginning to end.
You know the theory of reincarnation, where the dues we pay in this lifetime we may get to collect in another lifetime. For having seen this movie, I want months and months and months in a beautiful valley.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, we give it a 3.
Well, maybe it wasn't that good. Let's give it a 1.
Extra, read all about it. New Phantom comic strip in this here paper. Germany bombed Poland.
You sound like the oldest child that's ever existed.
I know, my voice got really raspy for some reason while I was doing it, but children did smoke a lot back then, so maybe it's on par.
He night times as a mine shaft worker, too.
Night times mean moonlights?
Yeah.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bombs the Way, the Bad Movie Comedy Podcast. My name is Tyler Rowe. Joining me here inside the studio, as always, is
Peyton Bieber.
And
one wolf, one horse shooting purple superhero. Jarrett Seibert. I was like, how do I make that child song work for this?
Yes, this episode is about a one horse, one wolf, but it kind of seems like there's multiple
purple
wolves.
superhero, really?
Shooting,
One skull.
flying purple people eater.
No, flying or shooting purple
That's
superhero.
what you were going
Yeah.
for. I get it now. I love that song, actually.
I know.
It's actually about it's not a purple.
It's about an Andy Warhol dress.
Is it?
No, I don't know.
Oh, jeez, that was loud. I was going to say, it's not about a purple people eater. Like, the people eater is purple. It's about a people eater, but he only eats purple people.
Oh.
So
did you not know that?
suffocation
I didn't know that.
victims?
Yeah, it's about a one-eyed, one-horned flying, comma.
I
Purple
always
people
sang
eater.
one-eyed, one horse flying purple people eater.
Did you really think it was one horse?
I didn't
Yeah.
think it was one.
It's one horn.
One horse.
And then at the end of the song, he says tequila for some reason.
Tequila.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. It's the prequel
saying.
to that song.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Because
Tequila.
he speaks in the Chipmunks voice. Anyway, why are we talking about purple people eaters and
Yeah,
spandex?
we gotta get to the greatest movie ever.
Peyton is
I'm
this
more
film
disappointed in him
apologist.
than his dad is, which is a lot.
Is his dad dead in this movie? Is he a ghost?
Yes, he is a ghost.
What the fuck? Oh my god, there's so many
Did you not
questions.
get that?
You didn't
No.
get that? Wow, did you watch this movie?
I did. Okay, look.
You've been.
I tried
licking your
not
paint-
to.
Hold on, let's tell the good people what movie this is first. This is 1996, The Phantom, directed by Simon Windsor, most well known for directing The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones, starring Billy Zane, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Christy Swanson, and believe it or not, I was really, really, really trying to add another person to it, so Treat Williams.
Is that Drax?
That's
Treat
Drax,
Williams is really hot.
I kept thinking he was Carrie Elways,
I
Yeah.
don't know
from-
who that is.
Princess Bride.
But I
Oh,
think he
yeah.
does a really good job.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah,
Now I know who it is, though.
I think
Are
it's
you
the
saying you think he
mustache.
does a really good job comparatively?
as Drax.
Comparatively, right?
It's weird that
Comparatively to
this
who?
To the rest of the people in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
this
well,
is the
he's like
prequel to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Because we got Quill and Drax in it.
Oh, we
There,
do.
oh wow, that is actually a weird connection there. Quill is the worst actor in this movie. He is just reading his lines from the script. He's played
yeah.
by the guy who plays Dexter's dad in Dexter.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
Carly instantly pointed out. He showed up on the screen in the first scene. She's like, "That's Dexter's dad."
Well, he
I was
got
like,
better at acting, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, hopefully, because he's not showing it here. Yes, with an IMDb rating of 5. I've never seen a movie with an IMDb rating of whatever it is, 0.0. I've never seen it just that's what it is.
It's right in the middle.
I'm gonna be honest, that's exactly where this movie lands.
It is.
Not on the bell curve though, which
But
apparently is the best way to score movies, where anything past a 5 is like you should see it, and a 7 is like it's really good, and anything over that is like a masterpiece essentially. Now this is like a 5, definitely a 50%.
This is definitely a 50%. But I love it.
Almost in agreement, a Rotten Tomatoes score of 43%.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is 1996 Phantom. Let's get into whatever is here. To answer your question as you asked earlier, did I watch this movie? I think I did.
I think you've been looking at your paintbrushes too much.
I definitely sat here for an hour and a half. And
Oh no, an hour and 45 minutes.
An hour and
Because
45 minutes, yes.
I watched the first 30 minutes a couple days ago, and then I was like, oh, I'll like finish it day of, so it's like more fresh in my mind. I was like, I only have an hour left, and then it was like, you have an hour and 15 left. I was
you
like,
still
God
have
damn it!
almost a feature-length film ahead of you.
I know.
Yes, I felt like I did not retain a single moment of this film. I took notes. I was there. I watched it, but I was still sitting there being like, "What am I watching?" You guys will see. I will point it out, or as you scroll through my notes, you will notice that there is like 10 times in this where I say, "What is going on?"
The thing that stood out the most for me in this movie was that his costume never fit in.
Never.
Never was it like, oh, okay, that's acceptable for him to be a purple man.
In the jungle.
Yeah.
Really camouflaged as a purple man.
It's supposed to be a ghost.
I've never seen a purple ghost.
I tell you what, I don't know what the first
The
Phantom
ghost
was
who
ever
walks.
thinking. Hey, I'm gonna wear purple in the green jungle.
Well,
Yeah.
Like
you can tell. Well, okay, so the movie starts out as,
Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
yeah, like a child sees his parents die or something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay,
it
so
sets up the backstory
let me say
of the
this
first
right now.
Phantom.
While I do hate having to see a hero's origin every time I see a superhero movie, I will say, hey, Phantom, give me the origin of your hero, because I do not know what he is.
Somehow
what he
managed to
does.
spark notes it in this movie. It was like, kid saw something die, but kind of was adopted by a tribe. Anywho, now we're
And
in
that was
Natalia.
400 years ago.
So yeah, so the first Phantom.
No.
Saw his-
Don't get ahead of yourself. That's at the end of the movie where they tell
It
us
is,
all
yeah.
this.
It is.
That's what made me so, like, I was like, what? When they explain at the end of this movie who the Phantom is. Literally the last 5 minutes of the movie, they lay out for you who he is. This entire time, I've been like, what?
It's because he's got so many secrets, but he'll only tell them to the one that he intends to marry.
Also, it doesn't seem like he has that many secrets.
No,
I
it's
know.
just, yeah.
It's your
literally-
Secret
identity is your
identity,
secret.
and it's a mantle passed down.
God. All right. Yes. So they
Who
do...
passes down mantles? You have to uninstall it, reinstall it.
Ooh.
Above your fireplace?
Now your fireplace has holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lay out the story of who he is. He's White Panther. He's
Pretty much. It's
Oh
like,
my
it's
God,
like
he
Black
is.
Panther,
but white.
but white.
but not the. My sister called him the White Wolf as a joke, and I was like, no,
That's-
that is a Marvel
That is a
superhero.
Marvel
that's
superhero.
that's the Winter Soldier when he's in
Yeah.
Wakanda.
Yeah. Which I would love to see this movie reboot, but as like a black actor. So it's a little bit more
Like on.
culturally.
Okay, well, let's also bring up the fact that it's
It
supposed to take
wouldn't be
place.
a black actor, though.
Well, I would.
Well,
like
he
to see
is
it.
supposed
It would
to be
South
white,
He is,
America.
I know he's supposed to be white, but I would like to.
So wouldn't it be better as a South American?
like a Latino
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Sure,
but this
yeah.
movie doesn't take place in South Africa or South America. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Apparently,
place
this
in
takes
a-
place
a
in
fictional-
Africa, where only Asian people exist. It's
It's a fictional country in Africa.
no, it's a fictional country somewhere in like Indochina. This is like like
Yeah.
Cambodia area.
Yeah. This is
Everyone
so
in it
South
is-
Pacific.
Yeah, like an Indian Ocean type
Yeah.
island country, but for somehow it's Africa. And I'll tell you, that is the most period accurate thing about this. Is they're like, that's what they look like over there.
I will say they did some pretty good location filming.
Well, yeah, they did film
Like-
in Thailand. All of the scenes on the island are in Thailand.
That's what that ping pong ball was.
Ping pong ball?
It's a joke about Thailand. Never mind.
Okay.
There's notoriously Thailand sex clubs have really weird things going on.
Oh, where they pop the
And
ping pong balls
That's
out
like
of
the most
themselves.
tame thing. My friend
Yes.
actually, she's a zoologist.
Out of-
She went to.
What, their butts and other?
And vagina.
Vagina?
How do you guys not know?
You've never
about
heard of a
this?
person shoot a ping pong ball out of their vagina? It's
goes-
quite a common like strip club
Yeah.
like trick.
I do
But-
not frequent strip clubs, so no, I do not.
My
You
friend
might
went,
know.
and if you, I feel like I've told this on the podcast in a really like earlier episode too. But basically, you
No
go
one
outside of them, and
says.
they're like, "Here's a menu. What do you want?" And there's just a list of like random things that the girls will do.
How much
and it's
extra
like,
is it to catch the ping pong ball
In your
my
mouth?
It's like, yeah, we need. It's like, hey, we're here in Thailand for the international beer pong tournament, but our buddy's sick. We need a fifth.
Our buddy's got a yeast infection. We need a fifth.
I can help.
It's like,
Yes.
I just need a couch to lay on.
Yeah, she like lays on the table and everyone just quits because they're like, I'm not drinking any of that.
That's why you put water in the cups and you drink the beer off to the side.
Oh.
That was like the
I've never
exclusive
played
rule
beer
in college because we were
That
like, no,
is-
no, you're not drinking out of a cup where everyone's hand has just been shoved in
Not
it.
how I played.
Oh.
Not that I played it.
I never
we-
drank
at
and
least
never
we're
played,
smart.
I
so...
never really played either.
I played
saw
once
it.
at a party, but there was water in them, and I was just drinking water because I was like, I don't drink, but I want to throw a ping pong ball in the cups.
I played on 4th of July on an island and I won.
Good for you.
Felt really good about myself.
Well, so now, yes, as we said, we're in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
Some grave robbers.
I wrote a joke here in my notes when the movie just started, and I realized it's not true. I wrote, this movie's better than Temple of Doom already, but I would like to strike that from the record.
I would say
That's
it is
not
better.
true. That's not true at all.
I'll go on record saying it is.
You know, I hate Temple of Doom so much, but I won't even do that to it. Like, it has some merit.
This is a fun movie. If you love superheroes, little action adventure, Indiana Jones-esque, globe trotting around
I
the
would
world.
say you are correct in that aspect, but the fact that I literally sat there and felt like I didn't watch the movie, but I was there the entire time watching the movie, it's like really weird to me. I don't know. I really felt like I was in a fog the entire time I was watching it. We'll get to it, but there's 85 plot lines in this movie, all happening on top of each other simultaneously.
I'm pretty sure there's only like 2.
Let's go through it.
That's what you think.
Let's just lay them out like a table of contents for the listeners.
Okay.
You have his story, right? His
The Phantom
plot line.
story.
The Phantom's plotline.
Which is what?
That he's the Phantom.
Is that a plot line?
That's the whole plot line.
But it's basically, the plot is basically he's trying to stop Drax from getting all 3 skulls and taking over.
But is
The
that because
world?
he doesn't even know that's a thing that's happening until
He
later?
does.
What I'm
Because
saying-
he's reading that book and he's like, oh,
I would
there's
say
like
the
3
Phantom
skulls.
doesn't have a plot line at all.
No, but I'm saying, okay, so one part of the plot is who the Phantom is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
One part of the plot is who he is, right? Then you have...
But that's like saying Bruce Wayne and Batman's like, who is Batman? It's like,
No, it's not because that movie's well written and you're not like, who is Batman?
but we do know who the Phantom is. He's
No, I'm
like
saying
it.
who he is in the
Like
grand
his origin?
sense of who
Okay.
he is. Because the movie's constantly talking about that. They're constantly like, who's this guy in the jungle that I killed this guy before? So that's a plot line. Then you have Diana's entire story within the movie about who she
Just the
is,
damsel in distress.
what she wants, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Drax's merry band of morons, their entire storyline. And then you have Drax's storyline. Then interwoven into Drax's storyline, you have a mob storyline, like written into it as well. And then you introduce some weird shit with a cab driver in the movie out of nowhere.
Cab
and then
driver
you
should have been
introduce
more featured.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
he was really good.
and then you
He was great.
introduce right. There's
Best
a few
character
things,
of the film.
There's a few things in this movie that they introduce that's like, hey, that would be way cooler if you focused on that. Like Catherine Zeta-Jones's character,
Yeah,
who
she
her
was cool.
ship, all of her pilots are women, and then they're like, anyway, fuck that.
Well, I've
She's
had
gonna
this-
be a good guy.
I just had deja vu.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you recognize how much of this movie connected back to our previous episode of the Bargain Bonanza Shark Week? You had
No.
seaplanes, you had sharks.
yes, yes.
2 things.
We can't escape it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It was just kind of an odd amalgamation of just like way too much going on, and then at the same time not explaining all of that was going on. Like I said, and it's not just me trying to be like hee hee ha ha funny for the show, but I genuinely at the end of this was like, did I watch it? And that happened to me with the most recent Conjuring movie too. When it was over, I was like, I know I watched it.
Oh, yeah,
I
I felt
focused
that
the
way
whole
too.
time, but I don't know what happened in this
I
movie.
was there mentally.
Yeah.
I was there.
So yes, we are in our Indiana Jones throes of this movie. This movie teeters back and forth between Indiana Jones and Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Like it can't decide which one it wants to be.
I think it just tries to be both. It's like, I want to be, like, at some moments in the jungle, I'm Indiana Jones. In the city, I'm Dick Tracy.
Sometimes
Well,
Indiana Jones in the sheets, Dick Tracy in the streets. Fuck.
does the Phantom actually have a superpower?
No.
No, he's just trained.
That's one of the
So
main
don't call it a superhero
draws.
movie.
Well,
He's
It's-
Batman.
It's
He's
a man
Batman.
movie.
It's a man with
He doesn't have superpowers.
He doesn't have superpowers.
He's just well
but
trained.
neither does Batman. But you call him a superhero.
Because I've seen him do some super things.
The
I'll tell you right
Phantom
now,
did
the
some super
Phantom goes
things.
down. So we meet what we eventually find out that I said earlier is Drax's merry band of morons. These like jungle adventurer treasure
Bad
hunters.
Indiana Jones.
Bad Indiana Jones.
Nega Jones.
They drive up on this bridge. They have a child slave with them, and they make him drive across this rickety bridge. They're like, we can walk across, and then he can drive the car across it, and they make it across. Ooh, wow, real cool.
And then they like don't take it. It seems like they don't take it any further. It's like, why don't you just walk across the bridge and leave it there?
Yeah, it's like you don't need the car. They
Yeah.
show that they don't need the car after this
Because they
point.
just walk from there.
Yeah, it's like, okay, guys. So
Where did they steal a child from?
The nearby.
They just
village.
have the child, though.
Yeah.
But, like, at what point were they like, a child will know what we're looking for?
yeah, and he also doesn't speak English to them.
But one guy understands him.
He doesn't speak English at all.
Yeah.
Does he not?
No.
No.
I thought he spoke English at one point in this movie.
No, he talks to the
Like
Phantom,
I
but the
said,
Phantom
I
says
watched
no.
Local
this
language,
whole
as the
movie,
subtitles
and
would say.
Cannot. This is also where I wrote in my notes right here. I brought up the question. I was like, they said this is Africa, but this is definitely not. They go to this cave of treasures, and lo and behold, they find a crystal skull while they're there.
It was a silver skull.
Yeah, it's a silver skull. Luckily, this silver skull looks better than the other two skulls, because
The jade skull looks crappy.
They all look kind of stupid.
the gold skull looks like it was just covered in glitter. I genuinely, for a moment, thought they just covered it in gold glitter and were like, yeah, that'll do. This is the Spirit Halloween approach to filmmaking.
Pretty much.
We don't know what these skulls are, anything. But in one of the most just like introduction to how poor the writing and acting and everything is going to be in this movie, when the guy grabs the skull, a skeleton comes to life and chokes him to death, and the guy's like, ah, and just dies.
Dies. Yeah, I don't understand how that happens.
I'm like, I don't think a skeleton can grab you that hard.
Unless it's like some sort of voodoo.
But they don't
thing.
even explain if it's a booby trap. They don't explain if it's a curse. Nothing. The guy gets choked. He's laying on the ground, his eyes open, and Dexter's dad is like, he's dead. Let's leave. And just leave his fucking body there. On their way out, they come across...
Well, this is when we get like this cool phantom shot of like
a
it's
purple crotch.
like purple and purple nipples. And basically like all shadowy and everything, but there's like a slight, streak of light. Like, someone need me right now. We must go, devil, my wolf.
Yeah, he's like saying all this like fucking shit, and honestly, the Phantom's just Jungle Zorro.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
Which I love Zorro too. So
Oh my god,
Hey, we
that's
should do
another
Mask
one
of
that could
Zorro.
end up on the show because that's a bad
Mask
movie
or
too.
the second one? The second one's pretty bad. The
Mask?
first,
Oh, you're saying Mask of
Mask of
Zorro. I thought
Zorro.
you meant The Mask. I was like, we've already done Son of
Not The
Mask, and
Mask.
we're not going to do it again. No, yeah, he has a wolf named Devil and a white horse named Nothing.
horse,
Horse. And he rides it through. And again,
and the wolf and horse can talk to each other.
oh, that's
Remember that?
right. There's like
Remember?
that Lassie scene later in
he's
the
like,
movie.
hey, we gotta go. Okay, let's go.
I gotta say, again, bringing on the like, hey, way to not fit into your surroundings. Purple suit, white horse, gray wolf
Yeah.
in the jungle.
None of it makes sense.
None of it makes sense.
Did you bring the horse there? Did you like bring the wolf there? Did your ancestors have the wolves? Are these immortal beings of wolves and horses? Or are they like the children of the previous horses and wolves?
Maybe they are, just like he's the children of the Phantom.
But then
line.
like what did they breed with?
Why do I feel like there's a wolf in the Jungle Book? Not the animated
there
one. in
is.
the real
book.
Jungle
He's
Book.
raised by wolves,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the Jaguar guy takes kind of.
Have you guys ever seen, I think it's called Roger Kipling's Jungle Book, the live action Jungle Book where Mowgli's like a teenager?
Kind of.
It's a
This was
Disney. It's a
this was
Disney
90s
movie.
wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really scary because like a guy falls in quicksand and then dies. And
Yikes.
it's fucking terrifying. But that's what this movie reminded me of, and that's why I was asking. I was like, "There's a wolf in that movie. I know there is."
Do wolves live in jungles?
That's why I was gonna bring it up. That's the
Well, I
question
guess-
I have. Do wolves live in jungles?
I'm gonna look it up. Hang on.
What do you think, Jarrett?
I don't know. I feel like they could. I just feel like they shouldn't.
Yeah, that's very scary if they do.
I know. Another threat I have to deal with when I ever go to a jungle, if I ever do.
And again, in the immaculate writing of this, when the Phantom is floating around fighting this guy's like, "Who is that?" And Dexter's dad's like, "Somebody I already killed."
Yeah.
It's like, did you ever think that
Oh.
there could be two?
Which
Yeah, so to answer our do wolves live in jungles, they do not. And then there's even a thing that says the Jungle Book, a story of Mowgli, a boy who's been raised by wolves, lives in the jungle. And he goes on, also, it turns out wolves do not live in the jungle.
It's okay. So we were right to be. So where did this wolf come from? Where did the horse come from?
Maybe he traveled to the Arctic or
Where did the
something.
funding for this film come from?
Yeah, that's actually a good question.
This was supposed to be a trilogy of films,
No,
and
really?
it flopped so hard that they were like, "Fuck it,
I would
no."
have loved to see the sequels.
Yeah, you would have. Okay,
God,
just go
Peyton.
watch Titanic if you want to see Billy Zane in something
I
else.
don't care about... Billy Zane was not...
Billy Zane
the
was
greatest
so hot when he
choice.
was not in this costume.
So they said that initially they were gonna put him in a muscle suit like Batman, and Billy Zane just got fucking ripped
He
instead.
got pretty buff. He was pretty buff in that.
Yeah.
In the
Besides
normal thing.
Titanic, for some reason I cannot name another Billy Zane.
Zoolander.
Oh, go ahead and say it.
Thanks, Billy Zane.
There you go. You've been saying it for like a week now.
I
Thanks,
love Billy Zane.
I
He's so
have to
hot.
admit something to you guys. I've never seen Zoolander.
I've
Oh,
only seen it once.
I really like
Joe's
it.
like, I've only seen it 150 times.
It's a funny movie.
It was all the rage in high school for me for some reason.
for
Just
you,
the
and
tiny
you've seen it
phones.
once.
Yeah, well, I watched it
Tiny
because it
phones.
was
There's
such a-
one scene with a tiny phone.
Yeah, but it was referenced like 100 times at my high school.
Your high school needs
Well, you were
to do-
graduating around the time
jokes.
that it was probably like peaks like popularity
Yeah.
for that movie. So there's like this chase scene. It's not great. It's not interesting, but the car does drive. The truck drives onto the bridge with the kid in it and the Phantom, and the bridge breaks and they're dangling there.
The truck is upside down.
The truck is upside down.
Somehow entwined in the vines that are supporting the bridge.
Yeah. And the car falls and they swing, and this is the fakest fucking car I've ever seen in my life.
Did you also notice that, like, where he cuts the vine, when the camera pans back or goes to a different shot, they swing the opposite
Yes.
way? Like, it doesn't add up.
Let me explain to those of you who may have not seen this movie and want to know how bad this car falling to the ground looks. In how I can explain to you exactly how the VFX shot works. At the bottom of this gorge was an already busted up car sitting on a small like piece of the river that had rocks on it, laid with explosives. Then they CGI'd in this fucking awful car falling from the bridge to the ground, and when it reaches the frame where it would hit the ground, that's when the explosion in the truck goes off. Because if you watch the scene, it's so fucking jarring when it lands, because it doesn't land in the same spot, and it's also smaller as it's falling. And it falls and it hits and it's like, boom! It's like, that's not the same fucking
It
car.
was funny because once it like tapped the ground, it's just like boom, and a ball of flames. Like it didn't even land.
Well, they spent all their money on locations.
Apparently,
Hey, if you're gonna
and
spend
getting Billy Zane.
Yeah.
He's the only notable, and I mean, when I say notable, I mean
Catherine
like
Zeta-Jones
at the time.
at the time.
He's like the only notable actor in this movie.
But what else is he? In?
Unless I'm an
Treat
idiot and
Williams.
and Treat Williams is somebody else too. What are you saying? What has he been in at this
Yeah.
point?
If he was such a well-known actor,
I mean,
My
that's as good of a question as any.
did he not get the Batman role? So they're like, "Hey, here's this Phantom role," and then he's like, "Is it good?" He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be great. We have a trilogy."
You're gonna be in 3 movies. He's like, all right, sign me up.
Poor
And
guy.
5-year-old me was like, "Yeah, let's go."
I was also gonna say, if you don't know what the Phantom looks like, for any ska fans out there, he looks like he's a reject member of the Aquabats, just like I wouldn't be surprised if their outfits are actually like inspired by him. But I'm showing Jarrett and Peyton because they're not into ska.
I don't know who
what the Aquabats look like.
It's actually pretty accurate.
That's that bad guy from that one children's show.
Oh, Wiggletown?
Yo Gabba
Yeah.
Gabba.
Yo Gabba, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he's
Wiggletown.
Wiggletown.
The guy with the mustache.
He's got like that really funky hair.
Lazy Town?
Lazy Town, that's it.
I
Damn,
think he
you
died
guys.
recently.
They
It's a
showed
piece of
up-
make a bake a cake.
Didn't he?
They
It's
showed up
the
in Yo
way
Gabba
you
Gabba. But they
believe it.
also used to have their own children's show as well called like Aquabats Go or something like that. But they're from Orange County. Woo, 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 woo.
Cool.
And they're Mormon, I think.
Oh,
but anyway,
interesting.
far more interesting than the Phantom.
As we talk about it more than the Phantom.
Yeah, exactly. So we go to this British camp. Doesn't matter. It's literally just like
It's just establishing these two. This captain guy who kind of helps the Phantom.
who
out.
doesn't. I mean, doesn't matter
Doesn't really matter
at all.
At all.
Nope.
Oh, who is he?
Just some dude. He knows the Phantom.
And he
that's
arrests
it.
these treasure people.
Yep.
That, like I said, far too many stories happening in this movie.
I forgot about the captain until now.
Exactly. I did too until I was reading it.
But he's not allowed to smoke inside the cave.
That's true.
I fucking hate you. I really hate that part of the movie.
Hey, he's got to keep his peak health.
I guess they don't explain why. That's like not even a joke that happens
Well,
in threes.
did you see it?
It just
Like,
happens
and, like,
once.
Him and the Phantom like share a look, and they start like smiling next to each other, like this guy.
And yeah, he's like, he says this all the time. It's like, well, I don't know you say it all the time. I'm new. I'm fresh to this relationship. They kind of briefly explain what the skulls are, but not well.
Just that they have power, and there's three of them.
Yes.
There's
that
one
they-
made of jade, silver, and gold.
Yeah, the three elements
Yeah.
on Earth.
But they never mention. Well, we'll get to it. They've never mentioned the fourth one.
No, and that's the dumbest. That is the
It's-
most
it's
Deus
kinda-
Ex Machina thing of a movie
It really
ever.
is.
To be like,
No,
yeah,
like-
you actually need a fourth one. When he said that, I paused the movie and I looked at how much time was left. Because I was like,
5 minutes left.
there was like 15 minutes left. I was like, what? You can't
You didn't
introduce
get
that
it?
right now.
Whenever, because they keep showing this like mark on
The
people.
sigil, yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
the sigil, but I guess it's because he wears a ring. So
There's
it's
a
like
ring
he
with a
heats
skull
the
on
ring.
it.
Do you want to tell?
No,
I'm just establishing it.
I was talking about
Oh, go
it.
ahead.
To
Sorry.
quote next week's movie, this is awkward. I don't know.
There's a ring with a sigil on it, but he punches people so hard that it like leaves a burn mark on him.
Yeah, I do have to say it's kind of funny is for something so prominent in the marketing material for this movie, the ring that he wears, it's basically non-existent until
Also,
the
do
ending of this
phantoms
movie.
have skulls?
That's
They
his.
can.
That's his. That's from
not?
the comic. That's his.
Yeah.
Like that's his bat symbol.
Yeah.
Is the
Ugh.
skull.
I am going to 3D print that ring. I found it on Thingiverse.
Oh, you fucker!
Damn it.
I do have to say, any hero, quote unquote, who wears a skull on them, I'm not calling to my aid. Like that is too scary for me. Like I'm here to help. Has a bunch of skulls on him. I'm like, no, you're not. You're
So
here to
you're
beat
not
the
going to
shit out
call
of me.
upon the purple guy with a skull ring? You're like, not that guy.
No, neither nor the Punisher, because I've seen his logo on a
Punisher
few
would-
vehicles, and I don't think I want his help.
The writer of the
actually-
Punisher was like, please stop using my symbol
Yeah.
for that. You're all assholes.
Yeah, no, he's scary. I have a really cool pin that I just recently bought. That's the Punisher skull, and then written in the Punisher font, it says ACAB. So,
What about Ghost Rider? He might help.
No, he'll just
The
pull
Ghost-
you up and punish
Nicolas
you for your
Cage.
sins.
you go, you ever been dragged through the street until you pissed blood? That's a movie we need to do.
Wally's
Ghost
World?
Rider. Walt's
It's so good.
That was a good one.
Fuck you guys. So then now we're in Long Island, and we finally meet Diana. Neither of you guys saw
Whoa,
Jungle Cruise,
DCU
huh?
crossover.
No.
I know that's honestly that was the first thing I thought of too. Was like Wonder Woman. Like what a weird, and obviously I don't know. She may have been in the comic strips before, so that's kind of an odd. I mean, it's a popular name,
Wait,
I guess.
Diana?
hmm
Yeah, she's like his wife.
In the comics?
yeah. They
Well,
don't have
and I
kids.
guess what we just said, like, makes it understandable why her name's Diana, and then also Wonder Woman's name's Diana, because at the time it's a very popular name, so it's not like it's like out of the ordinary. But she is an adventurer. She kind of looks like Amelia Earhart. The only reason I'm saying that is because she looks like Amelia Earhart, I'm now realizing, in Night at the Museum, not like in real life. She is...
She's like a strong, independent woman who doesn't need no man.
Which she proves later. I think she's a lesbian. I think they prove that at the end of the movie.
She goes... I mean, her
she was like, did you see that hot lady in leather? Fuck you, Phantom, you weird freak living in the jungle. Yeah, with your manservant.
That's like there's a scene where I'm pretty sure the dad was like, thank God he's not gay, when he's talking to the ghost of his dad.
Oh, yeah.
The ghost of his dad's like,
could you imagine?
Oh, I was waiting for you to find a woman.
Could you imagine if your ghost dad just came back to be like, you're not gay, right?
Happens to the best of us.
This is Christy Swanson. She plays the character Diana. The only reason I said it is because she's the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
From the movie, the original movie before it became a TV show. I just thought that was kind of cool because I was like, who the fuck is she?
I know. That was like her best known role attached
Besides
to her.
this, which is kind of wild because it's crazy to think that Catherine Zeta-Jones is a very supporting character in this movie. So it's odd to think that, like, you have this woman who, that's her biggest accolade. She was probably very popular at the time.
Wait, didn't Catherine Zeta-Jones go on to do Zorro, too?
Yeah.
Is she in Zorro?
Shit.
She is.
Poor girl. She also went on to do The Haunting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God, she's been in this a lot. This being the podcast. She wasn't in Wild Wild West.
No, that's Selma Hayek.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Selma Hayek. I think she's only a few years off of The Haunting, too, from this, because that's like 98, 99, something like that.
Oh.
When I think about Catherine Zeta-Jones, for some
CZT.
reason, I always think good movies. And then every time I talk about her career, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I think I'm only thinking of Chicago.
Yeah. And I was about to ask, like, is she in Chicago? But then I was like, yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's like the main lady, isn't she? She's
Roxy?
Yeah. I don't know anything about musicals, okay? That was an accident that I knew
That's
that.
gay.
I sang a...
We should do a musical on this episode. And then we'll have to all sing it.
We have done musicals.
Have we?
Have we?
Yeah, La La Land.
I'd review it. No,
No!
what is the sequel to Slumber Party Massacre?
Dude,
as a musical?
no, we were actually looking for what is... You phrased it like a Jeopardy question.
Yeah, the sequel to Slumber Party Massacre is a musical.
Yeah, that's kind of a musical.
should do, like-
Obviously the obvious answer is to do Cats, but I don't want to.
That one was hard to get through.
That'll be a hard
Isn't
one.
Cabaret pretty bad? Or not Cabaret, Burlesque. Burlesque is
There's
Oh,
Burlesque,
yeah.
but then there's also, like 6?
6 what?
It was just called 6.
We can do Dear Evan
Fergie's
Hansen when
in
it
it.
comes out, because I'm sure that's going to be a pile of
Oh,
shit.
God. That's
Glad-
already a pile of shit.
It's me, I'm 16, 35 years old.
With a CGI face done.
Oh, God.
I'll complain about that musical another time, but it is.
Don't your friends have
Such an issue.
a theater podcast?
Oh, yeah, Bits Over Broadway.
Yes.
Go check them out if you like Broadway musicals and people ripping on them.
Maybe we'll have them on.
We
We'll
should
do
have a
We'll do
team
a
up.
musical and we'll have
Right.
them on.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. That future collab there. But back to this movie. This is the first instance of me writing what the fuck is going on in my notes, because this is when we're introduced to Drax and he's laying out his storyline. Essentially, his whole thing is that he just wants the skulls.
He's Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
He's
How?
a rich guy.
Explain.
Did you just say how?
Well, he
I was
owns...
thinking the same thing.
Yes.
They're both rich.
Explain.
They're rich. He has control of like the newspaper and everything, and the police commit. Well, maybe not Jeff Bezos. We don't, as far as we know, as the police commissioner.
He's
in
Rudy
his pocket.
Giuliani.
I do have to say that was good. Jeff Bezos does control the newspapers. He owns
Yeah.
the Washington Times.
yeah,
Or
Washington
Post.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
Yeah.
back then that was power.
Yeah, that is true. It still is.
I know, I was like,
Unfortunately,
never
there's a reason
stopped.
only 5 companies own all of the media in the United States or in the world. So we meet this character Drax. Hey,
I love how
full
this-
stop. Anyone named Drax is not a real person.
Xander Drax.
Oh, yeah, Xander
Anyone named
Drax.
Xander Drax is not a real
Talk to
person.
Vin Diesel.
It's the same
okay?
forward as it is backwards.
No, it's what?
Yeah,
I know. I wanted to
was
see how
really
long it was
being
going to take you guys.
Well, I think Xander is.
No,
not
Xander is
Drax.
Red Nax.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he does say, like, at first I thought it was the same forward as it was backwards because he's like, it starts and ends with an X when he introduces
yeah.
himself to
The pirate
this
guy.
pirate clan that's somehow alive.
Yeah, and it's
Still.
like when they go to the Goonies set for
Yeah.
a minute.
I thought that too.
That's what's his name? Radar or the that's him, and then the pirate scene he got left behind.
It's Radar's dad.
I like how this guy's playing Xander. He's like very like
No, he's really good at that, like 40s or 19.
Yeah, 1940s bad guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill everybody.
And he's got that cool mustache that's like trimmed really neatly.
Yeah,
So it's
Speaking of
like,
cool
looks fake.
mustaches, there's not a single one in this room.
I had a dream someone told me that it was really bad, and I was like, it is, but I don't care.
You weren't sleeping.
It was
just
just
living
you.
that dream. All right, Peyton, I'm gonna need your help here. Please
All right.
explain to me. All I wrote was so much drama. Oh my god, what was happening in this scene?
Okay, I think is what you're referring to is that Diana's uncle or dad, uncle because he owns the newspaper, is investigating Drax, and he's got he's like Drax is a bad guy. He's talking to the mayor and the police commissioner. He's got his hands. He's like researching the skulls. He's gonna get a lot of power, and he's like got all this corruption and everything.
Okay, yes, I do remember where we are.
And there's this spiderweb emblem that means something.
I want pictures of this Spider-Man emblem on my desk.
It looks exactly like graffiti spider web that you see in every single Spider-Man movie
Yeah,
where it
it
shows
does,
a shot
yeah.
of graffiti.
Yeah.
And it's like Spider-Man forever with a 4 and an EVA.
I want pictures of the Phantom on my desk by 2 p.m.
It is bulging frame.
So, I guess we're going to go to Thailand. There's really not much of an explanation. We're going to go to where the skulls might be. They get on. Remember when I said that truck was the fakest truck I've ever seen in my life? Cut to the fakest airplane. What is it called? Boat plane? Seaplane that I've ever seen in my life. The CGI on it is awful, and you can tell where they put the mask for people to cut off when they like walk into it because they look really weird as they're entering it.
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Money Plane.
Oh, yes.
It reminded me so much of the Money Plane set. But if you imagine...
Could you imagine sitting sideways on a plane?
It's literally a square room designed to look like a plane, and everyone's sitting around the edge of the
You
room.
used to do that. You
It's
did used to sit like that. in
horrifying.
airplanes.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, you could just get up and walk around.
I mean, today's planes are no better, but that sounds even
I know.
worse.
I have to go on a plane. Oh wait, this episode. I'll be on a plane by the time this episode comes out, and I'm horrified. I hate flying.
Oh, I love flying.
Ugh.
I like it too. It's just
It's a good arm workout. Boom.
You
boy, am I
stupid
on
son of a
fire.
bitch. I hate you so much.
I love me.
Yeah, then we get some more business drama with Drax. Turns out Drax also rolls around with a little puppet with little spirals on his cheeks because he kills this guy with a fucking saw trap.
it was so cool.
This was one of the cool parts. Like, hey, come look in this microscope.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to shove his head
I
onto
thought he
it.
was gonna do that too, but he just
I was so
shish kebabbed his
excited.
eyes.
Tell me right now, if some dude, some
I don't
rich
think he killed
businessman
him.
was
I
like,
think he just blinded him.
oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that is what it is. So
No,
the last
he's
thing he
dead.
saw was
If you get blades in your eyes like that, you're dead.
No, you just lose your
you
eyes.
just lose your eyes.
Because those blades were short.
Yeah.
He's like, hello, businessman. I want to play a game. You don't respect the vision.
You
that I have."
analyze every small detail, but what happens when you analyze too close?
Your time starts now.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Are you Jigsaw?
Yeah.
then
I
the
actually have
music's
seen
like-
those movies a lot. I love the soundtrack to Saw movies.
I do too. Did you
actually
see
really
Spiral
good.
yet?
No.
It's really good.
Is it on HBO?
It's
Max
not
yet?
really good, but it's good. I walked out of it and being like, yeah, that wasn't very good, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I do. I'm curious about how the new direction goes, but I also love the traps, and I always am like, I would love to do a Saw trap, but like not a death version. And I'm like, that's just a escape room, I guess.
I think that's just BDSM.
I'm not into
Also,
that.
I would like to do an escape room. We should do one.
We should do an escape room. I worked at one for a little while, so we won't go to the one that I worked
There's
at.
one right down the street from Miller.
Is there?
Yeah.
Ah,
It's
we're
right
going.
next to that Pope place.
Going.
Anywho, now that we've doxed ourselves,
No one will know.
now that we've draxed ourselves,
Yeah, he blinds this guy, I guess. So now we're back on the plane. We're about midair, and the plane is attacked by Snoopy. the Red Baron. This plane flies up, and apparently it's also a helicopter because it's able to just hover.
It's also shooting at them.
Yeah, and then no one on the plane is getting shot at. All
And
they
they're
can hear
like,
is like ping, 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 ping,
let's
ping.
go.
Ooh, it's raining.
Yeah, they're like, oh, what's that? And then there's a guy just gets on the wing of the plane, just manages to get on. I'm like, I don't know how you hijack a plane in air like that. That you'd have to be on a helicopter. You can't hover.
Well, you could. I mean, you can fly like right next to the plane.
You could like match speed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like they're really matching speed.
They're like, yeah, and the speed that they're going at, I mean, a person would fly off immediately.
He's just standing on the wing, and then they get on, and they're like, "We're looking for this lady," and everyone's like, "Okay, here she is."
Well, Catherine Zeta-Jones is the one that was like, "Start talking, or I'll kill each one of you."
Yeah,
And
she takes off her flight hat, and she's like, "That's right, I was a woman." It's like, that would explain the breasts in your outfit you were wearing.
Because she's actually completely nude from the neck down in this scene.
I was thinking that was not you. Then somehow the Phantom learns that the plane. Okay, this begins a many question I have. Does he know who Diana is previously?
Yeah.
Yeah, they went to college. It's
Together.
established later.
Together they went to college.
They both went to college, and you know everyone. Okay, I again, give me some slack here. Felt like I watched the movie, but I didn't.
No, you don't learn about this until an hour into the film.
Yeah.
I was so confused.
But you get told about it 30 minutes into the film.
And how does he know that the plane got hijacked?
Because they went to the local police government, which of course is a military establishment in a foreign place, and that's the police officer that's like, or the
And it's the
police
British,
chief.
by the
that's
way.
like,
It's the captain guy from earlier. We're like, who is this guy?
he tells the Phantom.
Yeah, he's like,
Okay.
Diana's plane got kidnapped.
And he's like, I don't know who the fuck that is. You take one girl home from a
Well,
party in college,
she
and everyone
was-
tells you when they're kidnapped.
She was sent there by her uncle because her uncle couldn't go himself because it would look too suspicious for him to go.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
she
yeah.
went, and she had the name of the police captain. So she knew she was going to meet him, and he knew she was coming to him as well.
You know, sounds like a whole bunch of hoopla to me. It's just I'm so I don't know. Thank God the next scene happens where we're gonna get to see the sexy lady take Diana. We're gonna get to see the sexy lady ship plane thing.
The Phantom runs into the shower room. He's like, oh, pardon my error.
So Diana's been kidnapped, and I don't know about you, but if I'm being kidnapped, the last thing I think is going to work is to tell the people that are kidnapping me the crimes they've committed, because they're criminals. They don't fucking care.
What? I've committed crime?
Do you know you committed grand larceny?
No way.
What's the punishment for that?
The other downfall with a lot of this movie is when there are action sequences or chase sequences, sometimes they go for the proper length, and sometimes they're just like, they got out, it's fine, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They left, it's okay.
You mean like the part in the zoo?
Yeah.
Where they're like, whoa, oh, he just jumped off. It's all right. It's over. It's like, oh,
Like,
whatever.
and the zoo scene would have been neat. I love animals.
That would have been really cool.
That was the fakest tiger I've ever seen, too. The
Yeah.
CGI in this movie is laughable. It's really, really bad.
It's 1996. It's
Excuse me. Look, okay, I'm going to say what I say.
all right. Jurassic Park.
Yes, Jurassic
Yeah.
Park came out 3 years prior. And do you know what I have to say about Jurassic Park? Is it's only now starting to not look that great. And that's, 20, almost 30 years in the future. It's taken that long. The one scene that doesn't look great is the Brachiosaurus in the beginning.
Yeah.
Looks a little
yeah.
slimy.
Yeah.
They look a little shiny.
So now we're on the sexy woman boat. So excited. The Phantom sneaks onto the boat by crawling on this rope just so fucking like goofily. He's like a caterpillar on a vine, like bringing himself like in and out across it. He gets on the boat and we get a whole bunch of lesbian kidnapper drama. This
This could start a porn spinoff.
He
That's
he
super hot.
accidentally goes into the women's showers and he's like, "Oh, my bad."
Pardon my error.
Yeah, pardon my error, and like walks out. And again, like we said, there's a lot of interesting stuff that this movie doesn't care to show you. Is that the most interesting part of Catherine Zeta-Jones' character is she's
Boobs.
like, well, yeah, that too. Is she's a girl boss villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
She,
like,
she has a whole I don't know what you call them. I'm gonna call them a harem or
You know, you could just say crew.
Crew, yeah.
crew of
Is she's
women
having
pilots.
sex with them?
The
Yes.
misogyny, so great.
A murder of
It's a
women.
group of women, so it must be horse.
I'm not to bleep that joke. Yes, Catherine Zeta-Jones explains that all of her pilots are women, which is cool. They all have those pointy bras on, which is
1940s.
yeah, I like them. I think
Very
they're
cone
sexy.
bras.
Yeah.
Are they fembots from Austin Powers?
That'd be an even cooler twist to add to this movie
Yeah.
than what's going on
How do you
here.
think they were shooting the plane earlier? They didn't have guns. They had racks.
Again, third instance of what the fuck is going on in my notes here. We have a fight that felt like it was choreographed by the performers of Fantasmic.
It was.
It's the fight choreography in this movie is
terrible.
awful.
It's so
It is
bad.
so slow. Later on, there's a sword fight
Oh.
where they're basically being like, "All right, I'm gonna swing now, all right?"
That guy kills one of his own henchmen.
He does.
Yeah, and they swing so
Like
slowly.
actively, not even on accident. He's like, I'll just stab you
This
while
is
I'm here.
my fight.
It's like, we're on the same team. Remember when you ate my sandwich in the fridge?
It had my name on
It
it.
had my name on it, you bastard. Fuck. So, oh god, the Diana and the Phantom fly out on this plane. That gets shot a bunch and fluid leaks out of it, but don't worry, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it
Oh,
does.
is that what makes it crash later?
That's
Yeah.
the spare gas
That's why
tank when they
25
run out of
minutes
gas.
later.
That's why they had to jump on the horse.
Oh,
And this shot is terrible, but it's so funny.
Peyton, are you starting to realize this movie's not good?
Oh, I know it's not good,
Uh,
but I love this movie.
The plane is flying towards, I don't know. So,
A cliff, I guess.
yeah,
It's gonna crash eventually, so he like puts it in glide.
yeah, it can do that apparently.
well,
He
he's
just
like
jammed the stick.
also
Autopilot came out, the inflatable pilot from Airplane.
that the horse is running so fast, and I'm like, couldn't you just like slow the plane down a little bit?
And landed it?
Yeah.
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 Those pontoons can land on land. It's just not good for
Yeah.
them. I don't know. I don't get it. They
It's
never
really
explain
dumb.
like, oh, it's jammed.
Yeah.
You know? So the plane's flying. The Phantom jumps out, lands on his horse, and then he's like, Diana, jump out and land on the horse with me. And she proceeds to like they're showing the plane, the top of the plane out of frame because there's very clearly someone flying it above them or it's attached to something. And she like drops in the most awkward drop and the plane crashes into a cliffside. And she's like, wow.
I love.
And
you,
they could have
Phantom.
like they could have ran in any direction and been like, wow, let's make them think that we died. Instead, they just kind of hang out there for a
They're
second.
like, hey, we gotta, so bad guy superhero union rules is actually we have to wait for them to catch up. It's only fair.
So
then he
they
catches
know
up.
we're still alive and we didn't crash.
Yeah. And he starts running away and she's like, oh my god, how are we getting away? And he says the stupidest fucking thing on earth. I have friends in this jungle.
The rope people.
The rope people.
Which I'm like, I don't know if that's what you call them, but okay.
They love rope. There's a lot of rope.
The rope people. You guys couldn't think of a cooler name for them? The rope people?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, those are the rope people. They're neighbors to the tie line people. Don't get me started on the shoelace wars.
God, the aircraft cablers. They're the advanced civilization.
They're always in a fight with the chain gang.
Oh,
Yeah. Ooh.
that's...
No, shut up. Don't make me feel bad for that joke. All right, so then the Phantom brings Diana back to his fuck lair, but I don't think there's any fucking happening. Well, there's supposed to be fucking happening there, we learn later.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Okay.
And
He's gonna show
The
her
police
his
chief is
skull.
there, and she's like, look, do you know this symbol? And he's like, yeah, it's a spider web, you idiot.
I wrote, I feel like I'm losing my mind here, because I really did, again, I was just like,
What did you smoke before this movie? Because
dude, okay, here, do you know how I know that I'm not the odd man out on this?
2 out of 3 of us know.
Carly, Haley, who's my sister, and myself all watched this movie together, and we all were like, what is going on the entire time? The spiderweb tattoo thing is finally introduced. Now, mind you guys...
Well, no, it was.
it's
in the
introduced before, but
beginning,
now we finally know what
and
it
that
is.
no, we know in the beginning too that it's the Sang. I'm gonna call them. The the
Yeah.
Sang tribe or gang.
Same gang. Same gang. Represent where you're from.
North Web.
Yes, yeah. They explain, blah, blah, blah. So now they're going to go back to New York. And the Phantom shows up as a regular
Sane.
fucking dude.
His name's Kit.
Kit. What's his...
Kit the Phantom.
I almost said Mercer, which that's a porn star. So that is not what his name was. That was like an actual genuine almost slip right there. Of
Almost lip, but you still said it.
Well, it's better if I say it instead of slipping it, and then everyone's like, "That's a fucking porn star." One time in a room full of people at my old job, I thought they were talking about a porn star, and I was like, "Oh, that's porn star," and they're like, "I got the name completely wrong."
Whoops.
I've never been more embarrassed in my life. So Drax goes through the kidnapping, essentially catches us up, even though we're all watching the same movie.
Drax spears a guy because he's like, hey,
That's
I don't
so
like being
fucking
part of an
cool,
evil board of
honestly.
directors.
He's like, "Hey, I'm in the mob. I'm not a monster." Like walks down, gets speared. This
Once
is
again,
just
just a great performance by
Drax.
Drax.
The
Just-
other guy
by
who's doing
Treat
a really
Williams.
good job is
His first name is Treat.
That's pretty cool.
he is a treat to this movie.
Hey, trick or treat, baby.
I would bust my shorts off if he said that to me.
Hey,
What's the
treat.
lowest on a scale of 1 to 10 in attractiveness you would bust your shorts off if their name was Treat and they said that to you?
6.
Sex?
We'll go with 6. We'll go with 6. I'll have some self-respect.
I'll say like a 5. If someone's like, trick or treat, baby, I'd be like, oh my god. that took so much confidence.
Guess I'm about to have a mouthful of candy. Hope I don't get any cavities.
I only have Go-Gurts. So,
There's some raisins.
there's the other, another person who's doing... Is that like a dingleberry or
No,
something?
it's his tiny balls.
The only
Well,
other
sure.
person who's like really doing a good job in this movie, and maybe I'm just giving him more credit because I know him from something else, is the main gangster guy who later has the coolest death in the movie.
Quill?
No, not Quill. Gangster, like mobster guy.
Oh.
The guy who gets later on in the movie, killed by the pirate.
Yeah.
I don't want to get there.
Oh, yeah.
He's from The Sopranos.
Oh.
And he's really good in that. His name's
He
Richie
has that,
Aprile
like,
in that show.
Mobster talk.
He's in all mob movies because he's just an Italian guy.
Like, hey, listen here. I got
Yeah.
a job for you.
He's
He's
a
the boss of
monster
bosses now.
in Sopranos. He is fucking crazy in The Sopranos. But he's doing a good job here. So Drax basically lays out to all these people everything that we keep hearing every 10 minutes in this movie. He's like, I gotta collect these 3 Funko Pops. I've got 2 of them. That's what they look like, isn't
They
it?
do. They do, yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, man.
When
he
are they
knows
gonna
where the
make a Funko Pop of that?
And he's like, "Where's the second one?" He's like, "I know where the second one is."
He's, yeah, where's the second one? Don't worry about it. We're going to get it in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's in the museum here in the city. I just never got it yet.
Yeah,
Which-
for some reason, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it now.
Yeah, he's like, I've been waiting to get the first one. So, the Phantom, he makes it to New York. He gives a cabbie some money that he has, and the cabbie's like, what the fuck? I don't deal in anything other than USD. And he's
I
like,
do SD. Thank you.
and then he's like, here's a bunch of gems. The guy's like, oh my god, these gems are worth tons of money. I'll be your personal cabbie forever now.
I'll be your slave.
That's how he got those kids.
Yikes.
So Diana's upset with Kit because he just disappeared. And
This is where we also
Again,
know
I
we get
was
some
really-
information tied together.
Yeah.
that's why, again, I was very confused here because I, at this moment, thought she knew that Kit was the Phantom.
She does.
She does? But how
Not at
long-
that point.
None of that. It's the next like scene, right? Where he's
Okay, because that's why I wrote, because I was like, does she know he's the Phantom? Because I'm like, how long did he disappear for? A day?
Well,
Like,
yeah. So basically, there's a scene. I thought it already
she
happened.
knows he's the Phantom.
Where like, because that's when she is introduced.
So is there a
to
time
Kit.
jump between these two scenes, like the last time we saw him and now that I don't know about? Or is she referring to college when he left to go?
When college, he left immediately. So the whole thing, we've been getting teased. One of the Quill, the henchman, is like, I've killed this man before. I've still got his belt. I stabbed him in the back. But then also for some reason, Treat takes credit for that at some point.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck? Don't take credit for other people's work. You're a
You know,
horrible boss.
I'm starting to think this might not be a very good movie.
I know.
But in
Right
this
on the-
scene, I am confused because now
But that's why he left, because that henchman killed his dad, and he had to
become the
immediately go
Phantom.
take over.
Which then brings more confusion into the fact that at the end of the movie, he explains who the Phantom is, and in that he's like, I was raised here, but educated in America. And it's like, she knows that.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
knows who you are, idiot. Duh.
Well, I don't think she knew that he was raised there, though.
But it's
Right.
like, okay, why is that a bombshell? Who the fuck cares? You're an international student.
So in in their college years, he's like, "Yeah, I'm an American." She's like, "Dude, you're from Africa."
You're from Bengala.
But to answer the question of does she know, there's a scene where they're like talking and Kit's like says something like very phantom-y, and she's like kind of squints her eyes and tilts her head going, "You are the Phantom."
So what is this, like a Clark
I think it's
Kent
more that's
Superman
weird if someone
type
else
thing?
said that. Because I don't think she really knows until he takes his mask off at the end.
She definitely suspects.
No, she knew at the end. I think she knew at the end before. That's why he took the mask off.
Yeah.
I think she does. I think she's known.
because she calls him out. She's like, "Yeah, you should take off your mask, Kit."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's like,
she does say
"Oh,
it to
you
him. He's
got
like,
it."
oh, haha. Anyway, the eye black comes off with the mask. So Drax shows up to the museum, and as if this movie was like, oh fuck, we only have how much time? Everything just kind of happens from here on out. We
The
get
two skulls combined like a McDonald's toy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and they spin around and cause mayhem. There is a funny joke, kind of, where the Phantom sees the skull in the museum setup, and he's like, "That's not even the right era," because it's in like a Renaissance display.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's not even correct."
I cannot stand in movies where they have so much disregard for ancient artifacts and like ancient art.
Oh, you mean when they just break that? He just like, I need to get it, and he just busts
No,
that shit open.
When he's like, skulls, give me power, haha, the power, and it's just breaking like
Everything in the
all
museum.
of the stained
The
glass
stained
art,
glass. Whoa.
all of it broken, and I was like,
Was
oh.
it even? I think it was made for the museum. it
Yeah,
seemed
so
like.
it may not be old.
You
but
don't know
it's still
that.
beautiful. And then do you know what
It's a
do you know what
museum.
happened with these
Maybe.
these two skulls?
They point the way to the third one.
Yeah, they basically
On a
just go,
fucked
"Hey,
up
idiot,
map."
you were already near the other one when you went there in the first place." Like
that
was
map
different.
looked horrible.
Yeah, I don't know what
yeah.
what place in the world that was.
It was weird. It was one of those kinds of maps that like focuses on a location, but then still has the curvature, but it's a flat curvature. So it really distorts everything and looks super weird, but it did not. Even whenever I was like, okay, is that Easter Island?
no,
'Cause that
it's supposed to be
looked-
near Africa again.
No,
It's like in
that
the
was
middle of
South
Pacific or
America.
something.
Oh, was it?
Because I like you could tell that like the
Genuinely, at the end of the
Americas were in that side.
When, spoiler alert, that island like exploded, I was like, "Oh man, I'm so bummed his house blew up." I thought it was the same island again. So they unveil that they have another belt from one of the Phantoms. Then we get to see the Phantom's phantom dad, and he's like, "Are you gay?" So
He's talked to his dad before.
yeah, but this is when they're in the cab,
And the
they-
cabbie's like, "The hell you talking? Who's
He's like,
talking
"Oh
to?"
God, this guy paid me in gems from Michaels."
Did you miss the Phantom's escape?
Oh, from there?
the elevator.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah,
oh, when
it's
he
a
really
uses
fit
the
out of that
guns?
hole. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
His,
You're
and
right.
his boots are burning.
And he squeezes out of that hole that there's no way he would have fit
he
through
totally
that.
died. He got cut in half.
I just love the henchman that like starts following. Like, hey, they're going up the stairs with him. Were they going to throw him off the top of the building?
I think they were.
So then he goes into the machine room and like the henchmen follow him in there and he kills two of them, I guess. But then the third one's like, I'll just leave this room because it locks behind me. Where else is he gonna go? Like, that's really poor work on your part.
It's like, I don't want to die for this.
They
Whatever.
don't pay me enough.
I'm not going to die for imperialism. Just locks the door. So then we just kind of get our way to this island.
Well, they take a plane, and the Phantom is like hitchhiking outside the plane for hours
on the wing.
on like the pontoon.
Yeah.
Thing, and it's like,
Well, this is the other
How?
thing about the movie, and I was going to say it earlier, but it works better here, is what is up with travel times? Because planes were definitely not as fast
No,
as
and
they
you had
are
to fuel a
now.
lot.
And yeah, the fuel, but also they are going from New York to basically South America.
Yeah, they got there in a few hours.
It
was
was like
like-
just a night, huh? Like,
Yeah.
they left at night and they
I was
got there
like,
in the morning.
there we go, we're fine.
They're like, hey, this is 1996. No one's gonna ask.
Meanwhile, Phantom's hanging on the plane, in the
He's like,
freezing cold.
do I get my in-flight meal here on the wing?
Excuse me, I have
Well,
to pee.
I do have to say, old planes did not fly that high.
I know they didn't fly high, but it's still cold up there.
I mean, it's windy. Yeah,
And
he's
plus
there,
it
and
was
his lips are all
nighttime.
chapped, and he's like, "Hey, we got any water?"
Drink the clouds.
They end up in the Goonies set, as
Yeah.
I said
A really
earlier,
cool lagoon.
on a pirate ship.
No, they filmed on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, right. Actually,
attraction.
this isn't too much earlier than the movies. It's like 5 years out from the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
It looks a lot like the attraction,
Really?
though.
The first one came out in 2001, didn't
Did
it?
it really?
Something like that.
I thought it was like
2003.
2000.
They were not far off,
Okay. Wow.
but
The second one came out in 2007.
Oh, really?
oh,
Yes.
maybe I'm mad wrong. I
think
know I
it's
still
like
have my ticket from that
2005.
movie for some reason. So they end up in the Goonies set, whatever you want to call it, Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride. Actually, the ride looks a lot better than
This,
this
Yeah.
set. It came out in 2003, Curse of the Black
wow.
Pearl. So this is when we're introduced to yet another another group of bad people, apparently.
The same gang.
The same gang, yeah. And they're just bad guys who protect
Pirates.
this last skull. They're pirates.
Yeah.
they also have, like, steam engines. And for some reason, like, maybe this is where the Nazis went when they left Germany and no one found
This
them.
is 1942. Or
Maybe this is
1939.
the early
Oh,
establishment.
this is 38. Yeah, 39. Yeah, this
So
is
the
it's
early
it's
Nazi
pre-World War
establishment.
I
II.
thought there was going to be something to do with Nazis too. They don't mention anything about the fact that World War II is happening during this movie.
They kind of do. They say that when Drax is talking to his board of evil people, he's saying that like the United States is broke, and the Europe is destroying itself or something like that. It's like a throwaway line.
Because we haven't entered the war yet.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, they're doing bad stuff there, but we're not concerned until we get pulled in. So,
Until we get attacked.
so we are introduced. It's Kabai Sang.
Saying.
We are introduced to the Kabai Sang. That's the gang, and then we are introduced to the great Kabai Sang, who is one of the coolest people in this movie.
Yeah.
He's played by. I'm not going to say his name. He's played by the guy who plays Shang Tsung in the Mortal Kombat movies, the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Probably one of the best actors in this movie.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the script isn't helping him out much
No.
because he says, I am the great Kabai Sang, direct descendant from the evil Kabai Sang.
All right. Oh, so your dad's name was evil?
Oh, so you're not evil? Proceeds to shoot that guy with a cannonball that throws him 60 feet backwards.
Damn, you had no build up to your favorite kill. You
Well,
ripped that band-aid off.
Neither does this movie.
Well,
Well, he's like something in local language, and then he's like, what does that mean? Shoot the cannon.
Yeah, and he's like, that guy's like, I don't care about Drax. I'll work for you. Or tell me what you want. And then he's like, shoots him with the cannon.
Yeah.
It is a funny kill because he does fly.
He just goes flying.
hundreds of
ragdoll.
feet. Like, I've always wondered what would happen if you got shot with a cannon.
I think it would just go straight through you. I don't think you would go flying.
I think it's too wide. I think it has too much surface area.
You think so?
I think it would do both of going through you, but also like
carry you
sending
back.
you backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it would at least obliterate your chest.
Oh, yeah.
Let's call them Mythbusters.
Mythbusters?
They did do that.
They
Yeah,
did
yeah, through
something-
someone's home. Someone's home that was on the other side of that shooting range.
Great.
So now there's a big pirate fight. It's fucking awful.
Terrible
The only good part
choreography.
about it is the Phantom's doing some dumb shit with his guns, where he's like crossing his arms, like it's like Matrix shit.
It's pretty cool.
It's not.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Then we get to this weird submarine area where also, Catherine Zeta-Jones is a good guy. Now,
Well,
Oh, she flipped whenever the main girl was like, women should stick together. And Catherine Zeta-Jones was like, you're right. We are both women.
who wrote this twist? J.J. Abrams? Fucking, what's his,
like, I
Hux
don't-
being the spy?
I don't like Drax anymore. He's gotten off the deep end.
And she's like, us girls have to stick together. And then they're like together.
And
now
it shows
she's
them
a good guy.
scissoring in that submarine.
That's what they did on the plane, I promise you.
They did what?
Scissors.
Peyton has
Oh, I didn't hear
worse
that.
fantasies than the gay man. Jeez.
Man.
They were tribbing.
Yeah, they-
I'm telling you, if I was...
And that submarine, that must have been a fun
That's
submarine.
what, it's a small submarine, too. That's how they were, like, in there together.
It's a small sub after all.
It's a 6-inch sub.
There was no submarine involved in this plunge.
It's a 6-inch strap-on sub.
So, in a way too late revelation, one, they mention that there's 4 skulls that you need to control the skulls. And he's
And you're like, oh, great, there's a skull on the Phantom's things. Wonder who's the 4th skull.
The Phantom's like, I never understood why I wear this ring until now.
Or
And
no,
then-
he says, I never understood why we said that until now.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, protect the skull?
Yeah.
Something like
And
that.
he thought it was the one, but it turns out he himself was the skull, or the outfit was.
It's so
I don't know. It's
stupid.
stupid and poorly
But-
explained, and does not actually make sense.
In a revelation far too late in the film, we get to see what the skull can do, and it can turn you to dust because Drax accidentally shoots Quill with it, and he's just like, ah! Just,
Well,
like, blows
that's what
up
the
into
skull
a
can
dust
do when
cloud.
you don't have the 4th skull to
Yes.
control it. So
So-
I don't think we actually still... we do find out what the skulls can do.
Yeah, we have a lightsaber fight.
When all 4 skulls come together, everything just blows up.
Yes.
That's it.
And they do blow, they
It's
blow
just
Drax
blown
up.
They
They
blow the
escape.
skulls up,
Yeah, they blow the skulls up,
blow
which
the
is like,
island
oh,
up.
cool. I guess that was fucking useless.
right?
And then Catherine Zeta-Jones and Diana escape together in their little submarine, but then he also escapes with them. Oh, we forgot to mention the guy, the pirate guy gets eaten by some sharks
Oh, yeah.
in a 3-foot
Eaten
wide
by
pool.
sharks in deep lime green water.
Yeah, and they do show blood there. I was actually
Yeah.
surprised. So at the end of the movie,
Almost.
well,
Because they got to take him back to his homeland.
yeah, and then that's when he explains the lore, and I was like, hey, movie, should have done that in the beginning, because now I'm confused. It explains who he is, that he had to take the mantle from his father. It's always passed down. It's been for 400 years. That boy in the beginning of the movie who's left on the boat is not him. It's his great, you know what I mean, grandfather. It's been passed down, but the people on the island know it, but people who don't know it, so they keep the myth going that it's always the same person. Yada, yada, yada.
The ghost who walks.
I have to come to keep the lineage going, stuff, like... And
Can
then,
I nut in you?
Yeah, and then he tells her that,
Basically.
and she's
Basically,
like, did you
said
see
that.
who's waiting for me in that plane? Bye-bye, and then leaves.
I know she knows how to make me come.
He's like, I just been jacking off in this cave this whole time. That's why it was so humid in there.
That wasn't a stalactite.
But yes... It was a stalag loose.
It was a stalag pile of cum.
That was the Phantom.
Yeah, she flies off, and then the voiceover of his dad's like, but she vowed to come back later.
Yeah.
So then I wouldn't have to do this anymore. And I was
Yeah.
like, what? When she has a baby, do you stop becoming a ghost?
I don't have to be the narrator anymore. Thank God. And that's the Phantom.
Oh, such a good movie.
I don't even want to ask Peyton for his Jaws rating. Yes, that brings us to the Jaws scale. Jarrett, go ahead.
Probably Jaws 2.
You're
I'm
such
kidding.
a fucker. Just because you're horny for
It's-
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane in the 90s is so hot. Just like Brendan Fraser in the 90s.
Hey,
I'd
Brendan
love
Fraser's
to
making a
three-way
comeback.
them.
But is Brendan
movies.
or not Brendan Fraser, is Billy Zane? Like, I can't even think of what he looks like now.
He's bald.
Do you know what he is? I remember he's in The Boys briefly.
Is he really?
He's in a he's like in a movie they're watching. He's in a scene in it.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're like, thanks Billy Zane or some shit like that. But he is in it. Yeah, he's bald now.
Yeah, Jaws 4. Don't care. Don't need to care. Just don't even bother. If you want like a good adventure movie that kind of has a superhero in it,
He looks like Charles Xavier now.
He does.
Watch Indiana Jones 4.
Yeah, I
Watch-
guess.
with the same
Watch
story.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, because it kind of is the same story.
Yeah.
It's just, it's too boring and it's too long, and it really doesn't matter. And there's nothing that like made a cultural impact.
No.
Tyler?
Billy Zane is in Scorpion King 3.
Yeah, sounds about right. I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. Like I said, any movie that
Oh, because Billy Zane was Emotep? No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
No,
Maybe he played Imhotep in Scorpion King 3.
Scorpion King 3.
Maybe, but okay.
That's another episode.
I'm going to give it a 4. Any movie that makes me go, did I watch it, is probably not worth my time. And that's really all I have to say about it. Thank you so much for joining us.
What about mine?
In any episode where you go, I actually really liked it, you are not allowed to participate in the Jaws scale. You're just not allowed. I'm sorry.
My opinion matters.
All right.
Well,
Peyton, take it away.
Jaws 2.
Okay.
yeah.
I thought about a Jaws, but I thought it's not that good.
It's not even
Not
good
even
enough
a
for
good-
Jaws 2,
It's-
but
okay,
I'll let you have it.
I will say this rating comes from a place of nostalgia.
That's you on every movie
I
we've ever
know.
done. You're like,
Every
okay,
movie that
Godzilla, it gets a 2 on nostalgia. Evolution was fine.
Evolution.
But,
But yeah, I just enjoyed this movie. It's like an Indiana Jones superhero, loose superhero. I understand, but like it's just a fun adventure.
Indiana
around the
Jones
world.
4 is an Indiana Jones superhero movie. He survives a nuclear blast.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I just enjoyed it when I was 5 years old, or I probably 6 when it came out. I just remember watching it, and I was obsessed with superheroes. Kind of.
Did you see it in the theaters, or was it like at home on a VHS?
I believe it was at home on the VHS.
You
I
were
do-
probably 6.
Yeah.
6 and a
yeah.
half.
I do remember vividly seeing this tape in... I probably have seen this movie because I remember renting it, I think.
Mhm.
But I remember seeing the tape for it in the movie rental store, and it had one of those like move it back and forth and the image changes
Yeah.
thing, and the ring would turn green.
Yeah.
I do remember
And you
that.
put your finger over it and it goes... vroom, vroom, vroom.
That noise makes Carly sick to her stomach.
I
I,
love that
don't know
noise.
why. If you do it, she'll be like, she's like, I gotta go grab something else. I gotta touch a texture now.
But it's like this movie's like in the vein of like The Shadow, like that.
Don't say Darkman. Don't say Darkman because Darkman's good.
Darkman is good, but it's like that kind of like superhero
What is up
genre.
with bad superhero movies taking place on like Phantom, Shadow, Darkman?
It's
I
just like
don't-
those pulp.
yeah, it's like a pulpy thing.
yeah, it's
The Spirit.
The Spirit. Oh, I love the
I
Spirit.
take my
too.
juice no pulp.
Oh, you're a bitch.
We should have
Well-
did the Spirit on this though. That'd be a
The
fun
Spirit Halloween store?
one. Yeah, right
Wait,
down the
is there
street.
2 spirits? Or
There's
no, that's
one.
the Shadow.
The
And
Shadow,
then the Spirit. The Green
Spirit,
Hornet. That's
Green
a bad one.
Hornet.
Wasn't that Seth Rogen?
Yeah. The
Lone
Spirit is the
Ranger.
one where oh god, I don't even want to touch the Lone Ranger. The
Zorro.
racism alone on that
Yeah.
one is
Yeah.
astounding. Yeah, well, that's the Phantom. That about does it here for us at Bombs Away. Don't forget all of our links to merchandise. That's such a Jarrett moment. To merch, everything else is linktr.ee/bombsawaypodcast. Hopefully you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts. I apologize ahead of time if those episodes did not get to you at the time. There was some weird error with Apple. Apparently they're like the hardest podcasting platform to have your RSS feed accepted. Ours has been accepted this entire time, and then there was like an error, so they did not put the last 2 episodes on there when they're supposed to be. So hopefully you guys have gone back and listened to those because those are really good episodes. We had a lot of fun with them.
It's just a big episode dump.
They're
Yeah,
fantastic.
it'll be 3. Well, hopefully those episodes are up by the time you guys listen to this because this is like 2 weeks in the future. But yeah, that's I think that's everything, right? Except for next week's
T-shirts,
episode. Yeah,
next week.
T-shirts you can find on Linktree.
Oh, fire t-shirt. I want to make
stickers.
a fan shirt.
Oh God,
The
stickers.
Phantom.
The fandom.
And then it's just a picture of the Phantom's face, but he's cross-eyed, and it's like...
We could make that.
really one of those cheap, stupid radio jokes. Looking at you, Woody Show.
Oh. Join us next week for a doozy of a duper.
Steel Magnolias.
Only,
Just kidding.
surprisingly
That's a
enough,
decent film.
only the second Adam Sandler movie we have ever covered on this show.
Yet.
You guys know what it is already because a lot of you voted in that poll. Apparently, Peyton, the jury is out on whether or not he deserves redemption for enjoying Jack and Jill.
The jury's... Wait, say it's out?
Dude, it was literally 50-50 on the
Yeah,
votes.
exactly. So the jury is still out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That no one's determined if you get redemption yet or not. We'll know in 2 weeks when we hear your Jaws scale for it. You'll be like, coming from a place of nostalgia, I really liked when the bird was in the chocolate fountain.
That bird should have died.
Oh, do you remember all the Tumblr drama about the GIF of that from Jack and Jill? Yeah. All right.
I legit thought that was real until I saw this movie this morning.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
oh, it's not a real bird. I got it.
Well, that does it here for us at Bombs Away. Thank you guys so much. Join us in 2 weeks for Adam Sandler's Jack and Jill. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm on my way to save my jungle.
Is that what he says?
No.